analyze the players and the team. Keep a great company in the stream.
It's a Murali End. Welcome to the show. We're here when you're high. We're here when you're low. Some days you're happy, some days you wanna when happy. It's we when man, it's them. It's the same place, Murali End. Sri Lanka cricket, we gon' represent. So tell a friend.
Welcome to Murali End. I told you there'd be a lot to talk about. My name's Mark Machado. I'm joined by Sri Lanka's #1 cricket historian. He's having to get his pen and paper out and rewrite a new chapter. Nicholas Brooks is his name. Sorry, I forgot to introduce him. This episode, I'm so excited. This episode is powered by Kid Rated. Sri Lanka have just lost. Well, they've not. They've tied a game against India. We all knew it was a bit of a dead rubber, but we all thought there was something to prove, and some of our boys proved something today, and I'm really buzzed for them. Nick, I'll come to you first because you're the one here. I think Dominic's joining us imminently. He's teaching somewhere, but he'll be coming in a few minutes. So Nick, what's your takeaway, your thoughts on that game?
Oh, hey Marky, I feel totally fucking shell-shocked after that, man. I don't know how else to put it. It was one of the wildest games of cricket I've ever seen, and it sucks because I enjoyed that Nissanka KJP partnership so much. I haven't seen KJP time the ball that well since Durban. I don't think I've ever seen Pathum play that well in a T20 game. I think he's fast on his way to becoming one of the best all-format batters in the world. But then that's just washed away by the calamitous last 7-8 overs plus a super over. Sri Lanka needed 69 or 48 with 9 wickets in hand. Even after Charith's pretty ugly innings, it was 45 or 30 with 8 wickets in hand. And competent teams just don't spaff those sort of situations. I've never seen anyone else bowled out in a super over. I've seen Sri Lanka do it twice now in their last 2 super overs. So, yeah, I don't really know what my takeaway is, Marky. I think it probably, all things considered, it's, I guess, Sri Lanka's best performance of the tournament. But there's still a lot of things I think to be worried about from that showing.
So I'll give you some of my thoughts from it. Well, we bowled, I thought, a lot good, a lot bad. They've got a batting attack that we haven't bowled against them like that in quite a while. I don't think our bowlers did anything so bad that you say, right, never again, or they're not at this level. Then when it came out to bat, look, we all knew it was all about the top 3, right, for us, or really the top 2. I'll be honest, I thought Kusal Jayapal Pereira, I thought his time in the team was coming to an end. He absolutely proved me absolutely wrong, and I'm grateful and joyful to say that. I'm not grateful, but I'm happy that he's proved me wrong. I only want the best for Sri Lankan players. Kusal Mendis, slightly unlucky today. It is what it is. We asked him to go out and play out with big intent. Sometimes that's going to happen. Some people will be in the comments saying it's happening too much to him. If you think that's the case, that's absolutely fine. But all the flowers in the world for Pathum Nissanka. We've been talking about him for so long on this show. We've been saying that he's getting better and better and better. We've seen that, Jared Kimber and a few other people started to talk about him. He was on the front page of ESPN Cricket Info about a week or so ago with a great piece written by Fidel. The world was starting to notice him. I felt like he really needed a marquee innings. He really needed to show the world what he could do when the world was watching. Let's be honest, the cricket world is basically India at this point, right? Today was his opportunity, and boy, did he grab it, right? I was almost in tears, Nick, because I was just sitting there thinking, like, every time that IPL auction rolls around the last few years, we've been saying Nissanka's got to be there, he's got to be there, he's got to be there or thereabouts. Then afterwards, we sit around like disappointed family members, and we're like, oh, it's not quite worked for him this year. There's obviously it's the toughest position to get an IPL gig in because there's loads of domestic openers, right? Today, though, after that performance, surely he's got to be front and center for a lot of people's thoughts when the mini auction. I don't know when it's due to happen. When it happens again, I was so absolutely buzzed for him. Then underneath that, I mean, I think Dustin Sharnaker did something quite special today in his own Dustin Sharnaker way, because I feel like so many times in Dustin's career are we forced to kind of end up having to put him in situations which are going to be difficult for him, and today was that day. Hey Dom, thank you for joining. Today was that day again, and look, if you take away that top three today, that the rest of the batting lineup basically did nothing and slowed us all down. There's loads of great bits to take about it. It's been an emotional day for all of us, but we've got to be critical of the middle order. If Sri Lanka had a middle order, we're coming back on Sunday, aren't we?
Yeah, I also think that we're not actually just talking about skill here now. We're talking about game awareness and like not even smarts, but just basic competence. You've got a guy at the other end who's going blazing guns, playing an innings of his life. You've got spinners who you aren't picking. Like, you've got to just be able to get off strike, like nudge it with a cross bat, get down the other end, get Pathum on strike. Meanwhile, Charith and Kamindu just chewed up dot balls. Pathum was starved of the strike. And from there, I've had that feeling Sri Lanka are messing this up.
What's your take, Dom?
I mean, I just can't believe this is the situation you're in. It exposes quite clearly how weak certain parts of the side is, right? So you send out KJP and Dawson, and then you think, okay, who's the next guy off the ranks? And they pick Kamindu Mendes, a guy who scored 3 off of 7. And Kamindu is going to be a great player for Sri Lanka. Don't get me wrong. This is not an indictment of Kamindu, but it tells you, one, how bad the strategy is, right? Like, we're stacking this lineup with guys who can strike at 120. We rely on whether the top 3 can get big runs. And if that top 3 can get big runs, can we defend them? So why not keep your top 3, keep Dawson, keep Charith, find another hitter for 6, okay? And then support them with 5 bowlers. Let Wani depend on Wani to bat. It's ridiculous. It's so frustrating. It is so unbelievably frustrating that this is where the strategic thinking of Sri Lanka cricket is. You know, we've watched so many games, right? Like, and even we're at the death and we're sending in Lianage. We had Hasaranga. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, at least Hasaranga would have just gotten out in 1 ball or, you know, hit a 4. It's absolutely absurd.
So I think the thing is, though, right, is if they're picking him, I mean, at this point, I kind of like, you can't blame him, because if he's there, right?
No,
then you kind of got to send him out.
They chose to send him out. There's a difference. He's there, right? But yeah. Like,
I think I'm slowly becoming a Lianage stan, because I'm like the only one who defends him. I'm like, he's got a good he rotates the strike. It's not a strike rate thing. So I think that's what
over, Mark. There's no need to rotate the strike. Just smash the ball. Like, there is no it's absolutely ludicrous strategy. Like, there is, you know, like, he had to run for a bye. Right, that was all he did this match. I have no idea what the logic is. Why don't, like, Hasaranga? He might hit a 6 for you. That might take I would rather send Shamira than Lianage in that position, because Lianage is not a player who can clear the boundary at ease. Yes, he can rotate strike. That's what makes him somewhat valuable as a 50-over player. But come on, in a T20 match where all you need is 1 boundary, like 1 boundary would have changed this game, you send Hasaranga. And we saw, like, it's just absolutely absurd. Sorry, I'm full uncle mode right now.
They didn't even trust Hasaranga to bat the super over. Nick, I want to talk about the super over with you, because Sri Lanka, I assume, just have like the worst record in super overs, right? And I think, to me, there is one parallel I can draw in it, and that is England at penalties. The England football team at penalties, right? And I think also, when I was watching them bat that super over, it reminded me of us batting deep in innings as well. It reminded me of batted overs 18, 19, 20, right? And I just think actually the super over is, it's life or death at that point, and it just shows you that our mentality approaching that end, those key clutch moments, is just totally off, isn't it?
Just total like bottle jobs, bottled it in a game which meant nothing. They had a free hit to go and beat India. Like the platform was there. They just had to tick their way to victory and they couldn't do it. I agree with Dom. Picking Lianage as a specialist batter, if he's not going to bowl, is bizarre. You get a game like this where you're looking up at a 200 run target and he's just instantly rendered obsolete. Sending him in ahead of Hasaranga makes no sense. The decision making, I think, just like sucked from Sanath, and also I'm really critical of the way Charath and Kamindu batted. Like with on a good pitch, you can't not make 45 off the last 30 when you've got 8 wickets in hand and you've got Pathum at the other end. And yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm focusing a lot on the negatives because I think there was a lot of positive stuff, right? I mean, Pathum batted amazingly from that first ball where he just like stood on top of the bounce and guided Hardik through backward point. You just felt like it was his day, right? And with the power that he's added to his game, that over where he just took Harshit Rana down, saw all his slow balls coming, like he can pound it into the stands and he can place the ball. He's really, really special. But like I just can't escape the feeling gnawing inside me that this team is so much less than the sum of their parts. It's like,
yeah. That's the thing that's frustrating and that's what makes this game so frustrating is you see that this can be a good side. Like that is a point I will die on. This can be a good side, but man, they're doing everything possible to make sure that it is average. Right, that it reaches some high highs just because some players play brilliant knocks, like Kusal Mendes against Afghanistan, like Pathum today, because someone rips out the stumps like Nuwan Tushara does. But where is the backup? Where is the professionalism? Where is that, like, where is everyone chipping in to actually make a meaningful contribution? Like when you get 8 off of 16 in a chase of 200, where you're going at 11s. From your 4 and 5, like I'd rather have a duck, honestly. Just have a duck and have someone get in who can hit the ball.
I've opened the room up, by the way. The links in the comment section. If you wanna come in and have a chat with us, please do. Bud has sent this in. I 100% agree on the need for a sports psychologist. No pressure, no problem seems to be the issue. I believe that they actually have a sports psychologist now, and I think it is a local, like it's a local guy. I don't know if he travels with the team. I don't know what the situation is, what with him, but they have someone they're able to speak to about these things. I think it's a bit of forward planning that's needed, isn't it? That's what we need at this point. They need to be as I've said for a little while now. I was like, we need to be thinking how we get into Ahmedabad. What is the road to Ahmedabad, or possibly Colombo if we have to play Pakistan? What is the road to Ahmedabad / Colombo? And how are we going to get there? How do we beat the teams? How in those clutch moments are we going to get through? Today they got into that moment, and then it really felt to me like they hadn't really thought about what they're going to do next, and it was making decisions on the hoof. There's people lined up to come in and have a chat with us. But before we do that, I can play the advert that I made just about an hour before the game started. Hi everyone, this is West Ham Park where the first ever FA Cup goal was scored. I wanted to come out here and tell you guys about Football Smash, my other channel, which is about football, or as Dominic calls it, soccer. There's loads of great content on there from actual football experts like Tim Vickery, Dotun Adebayo, Adrian Goldberg, Charlie Methan, and a host of other former players and managers you've probably heard of. So please, if you're into football or soccer, hit subscribe. There you go. Yeah, so please do hit subscribe. That's not the right one. What do we want? We want this one? No, definitely not this one. Yeah, this one will do. Right, who should we go to first? Let's go Shabney. Oh, no, I've messed it up. We'll do that one.
Oh,
Shadow,
Hey guys,
how are you feeling after
how's it
today?
good?
Yeah, good.
I'm not sad. That was a game to watch, but I think I agree with Nick's comment right at the start about awareness. I think they started bowling wide of the off stump, starting around the 13th, 14th over after the second drinks break. It obviously was their strategy, and knowing how well Wani plays that flick shot over a point and or over towards third man, that would have been my choice after Sri Lanka. I think they missed the trick there. And even if he came after Kamindu, we still would have had a better chance.
I thought it told us a lot who they picked to go into bat for that super over, right? Because I mean, Dustin, I'm like, yeah, we know he can boundary hit. Who was it who came with him? It was Kamindu, wasn't it?
KJP, fair enough.
KJP, and then Kamindu came in after that, and I was surprised at that because I don't know what's happened to Kusal Mendes, like why he wasn't involved in that. To me,
he absolutely should have been. I don't care.
Strikes me as the obvious choice.
Yeah.
Pathum, I don't know if he's got cramp or dehydrated or they've just been like, you've just batted 19.1 overs. Maybe you don't need to.
There's some injury concern there.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, I mean, absolutely
not important enough. Yeah. Hasaranga again, right? Like it's a 3-ball go.
Exactly.
You know, like just there, like of all the people to send, like the scratchiest batter you had today. And again, Kamindu is going to be a very good player for a long time. But like as you said,
this is not his role.
That it tells you something, or Mark, you said it tells you something about how they're thinking. And I'm telling you what it's telling us about how they're thinking. They are not thinking at all, right? Like they are not thinking about who can actually produce that, like who is supposed to play these situations.
I think the pressure kind of runs all the way into the dressing room and into the management as well. And they seem to be succumbing to it big time because, I mean, they definitely know way more than us, especially our coaching staff. They've played so much cricket that it's baffling that they would make some of these choices themselves, knowing what they've done in their time.
The one thing I would add, right, is T20 cricket has moved so quickly, right? It's basically if you go back to 2014 when we were world champions, it is basically a different sport now, right? I mean, we've all been living in fear of a team scoring 300. There was a point today when I thought Abhishek Sharma was going to score a 300 runs by himself, right? And you go back not that long ago, and you're like, oh right, a score 200 used to be quite a big deal, and now you're like, right, 200 seems to be a score that really, if you want to compete against, you need to be able to get to kind of regularly. I mean, we got to there just about today, and I'm absolutely amazed and proud of the boys for doing it. But really, you look at it, it's kind of two players have basically got us there, right? Like between KJP and Pathum, they've scored 160 runs or something, and everyone else has scored 40. I still think the thinking, some of the thinking isn't quite right, but in a way though, the thing that gives me hope, and obviously I'm eternally optimistic, is that the hard part's getting the skill, the hard part's the talent, the hard part's the players, and we've got all that. The easy part should be trying to push this together. So now we're in that let's try and figure it out phase. And I think today actually we'll get because we look if we'd won that super over, or if Dustin hadn't dived and we'd run that 3 runs in that final ball and we won, this whole conversation is totally different, isn't it? It's those fine margins of sport, but the people who run our team have to realize it's the fine margins. It's like you got to get everything right. You can't be going. Kusal Mendes isn't, his head's not the right way. He can't bat a super over. It's like just get him out there. I don't know. Like,
what better than that, right? What better circumstance do you want than to just have a free hit? It doesn't matter if he gets out. Like, who cares, right? it,
Who cares? Yeah.
it's just so frustrating because you can see, all right, we've got a top three, we've got four bowlers who are pretty good, who can bowl like almost at any phase of the game, and it's what's holding us back is the strategy and those 8th through 11th spots. And I think Shanika is now kind of putting his hand up as one of those. But like that is the difference. It's these marginal, as you said, Mark, marginal calls. You know how much, as someone who follows sport, you know how much the details matter. In other sports, they know every single thing. They know every single stat. They know every Arshdeep, who's the guy who's going to bat best against Arshdeep? They have stats to pull up and quickly say, all right, we're going to send this guy out. But it seems like I think I don't know what their thinking is, but it's stuck in the 1990s. I think that's what we have to say.
Yeah, I think we've always kind of been behind the 8th ball in terms of being current with the game. And I'm not saying just now, at least according to me, we've never been ahead of it.
Yeah.
Even in our heyday. We didn't have big stroke players, right? So we believe that even in this game, just caressing it through the gaps and getting the fours would be enough to get us to where we need to be. We are the number 1 team in the world at this point, and they kept grooming the next generation also in the same way when West Indies and India started together with Australia also, I believe, a power hitting game. And it seemed like Australia caught up to it, England caught up to it. But what's going on? Because right now you take a bench strength in terms of batters, regardless of the position, pure batsman. If you take the top 30 cricketers in the country, I don't know if there is a power hitter that we have that can come and put the ball out as good as Dasun can.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to get involved in what schools are doing in Sri Lanka, but I will say this: if Sri Lanka are going to become a successful T20 team, they need to organise a big schools T20 tournament. If they do that within 7-8 years, once that first batch of kids come through that, we'll be producing as many power hitters as everyone else. I think that's what I would like to see.
Our T20 team being a national team, at least for the T20 setup, we should have a permanent power hitting coach. And we still don't have. We just got one guy for 5 days before the Zimbabwe tour to train the team, and that was it.
And do you know what happened on the 6th day? He went to Bangladesh and they employed him full time.
Exactly.
You're killing me here, man. You're absolutely killing me. Serial Criticizer has said, a commentator brought up an interesting point today. The reason Indian batters are good at T20 is because they're good test batsmen. What's your view on this? I'll be honest. I heard I can't remember who said it. I heard them say that, and I just thought that is kind of not a nonsense thing to say.
Abhishek Sharma and Sky, no, they're not.
Abhishek averaged like 30 odd in first class cricket.
No.
And Kaminder Mendes averages
transferable.
60. Sorry, no. I was just saying Kaminder Mendes averages 60 in tests. That, I mean, yeah.
So what are you gonna say there, Nick? Some skills are transferable.
I think some skills are transferable, but they're completely different forms of the game, really, aren't they?
Yeah. They're completely, at this point, they're completely different sports, and they're only going to get further apart. They're not going to come closer together. It doesn't mean that, firstly, as us lot as fans, it doesn't mean that we can't love them both. Yeah. But we've got to just acknowledge that they're just different disciplines now, right? Sri Lanka has so many people playing cricket that we can not easily. There is a scenario. Nothing's easy in Sri Lankan cricket. There is a scenario though where we can produce a really good T20 11 and a really good Test 11. Like that can definitely happen.
Why not? Yeah. Why not? Because the Test team is on a league of its own. They're doing extremely well. Why not have specialized teams? Because people are specializing right now in each of these areas. So build that and promote that.
Exactly. Shabna, I'm going to let you go, bro. I will be in touch because I'm coming this time next week. I'll be at
I'm
the
waiting.
airport to get my plane. So we're going to meet up after maybe at Sri Lanka versus Australia. We'll meet up inside the stadium. I'm so excited about it. I'll message you this weekend. I'm going to the Rugby World Cup final tomorrow, England versus Canada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'll message you on Sunday when it's all calmed down. I have no plans now on Sunday because I was hoping to watch my team in the Asia Cup final. But here we go.
Aren't you doing another show on the finals?
Yeah, we'll do the big bag on the finals as well. So yeah, come and join us for that as well. I'll open it up as well for everyone to have their say. Cool. Right. I'll see you next week, bro. Asan, sorry, there's loads of people backstage now. So Kulinu and Lohindu will get to you shortly. Asan, how you doing, bro? How's it going? How are you feeling after that performance today?
To be honest, hey, how's it going, guys? Hope you guys having a good evening so far. Man, to be honest, I'm kind of 50-50. I felt like after the bowling performance that we had, I thought like we had no chance. But the way Pathum and KJP played, even though I was kind of critical of KJP in the previous video, I felt like he really stepped up today. But I think we'll be kicking ourselves because we actually got into a commanding position where we could have chased it down. Felt like Charita Sri Lanka kind of hugged the strike quite a bit. And, as a result, I think that kind of give in momentum, but give credit where credit's due. I think Ashley bowled a really good ball, and Harshit Rana as well, considering that he got spanked for the first 3 overs, came back and did quite well. But to be honest, there's a lot that we need to improve on as a team. To be honest, I think we need to find somebody like a strategy coach, basically, to teach us how to really pace our innings. And the fact that we only saw this brand of cricket after we were out of the tournament. Yes, it was nice to see, but given the circumstances as well, like you kind of see that today we played with with this fearless intent, right? But I just wish we played like this against Pakistan and Bangladesh, because looking at the way we performed today, we could have easily won those 2 matches. But obviously, those 2 teams were the better teams on that day. Yeah. But look, a lot needs to improve going forward. I still stick by the fact that Dustin Shanaka, KJP, Charmik Karanwright, and Binuru Fernandez should be dropped, and other players should come in their place. For some reason, I was thinking the other day, actually, why wasn't Chaminda Vikramasinghe selected? Not for this one in particular, but even the Zimbabwe tour as well. I felt like he could have been some sort of... He could have... it was a good chance for him to really test out international cricket. I know he played last year when India toured Sri Lanka and when we toured New Zealand. But aside from that, he was just kind of let go. And I felt like, this match, we really could have done with Dilshan Madhushankar. I just felt like we're kind of missing that X-factor left-arm bowler. But I just really hope that, moving forward, that, these players kind of get the chance. Your Pavan Ratnayakers, your Eshan Malingas, and all sorts of stuff. I just don't see, honestly, even though KJP played quite well today, it's like a once-in-a-blue moon kind of innings. And I feel like, there are other hungrier players that would take that opportunity. So, yeah, fine. We did, to be honest, I'm still kind of annoyed.
Austin, I was going to say...
Don't even get me super over, man. What the hell was that?
Austin, your point about Chaminda Vikramasinghe was going about in the chat before the match. Nick and I were both saying, just put him at 6. We have nothing to lose. We're getting nothing from 6 anyway. It's not as if we're getting some massive contribution and we're dropping a guy who the thing that's frustrating is even if he does nothing, he's getting valuable experience, as opposed to someone who is not fit for the position. Not
what difference is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's no different. At least he might. There's a ceiling he could potentially reach. Yeah.
I also
think. Sorry, go on, Nick.
England just took Will Jacks, right, who's been an opener his whole life, and made him into a finisher. And I think there's young, talented cricketers around, right? We've talked about Pavan, we've talked about Wiki, but, guys like Cruz Pillay, Chevon Daniel, Rishan Halambage, who are used to playing at the top, these guys should all be taken by SLC and be put in a power hitting camp and see if any of them can become a guy who can come in at 5, 6, and 7 and hit 6s from the off, right? Because, what we got at the moment just isn't doing it. No one wants to bat in those spots, and as soon as it's 2-3 wickets down, it all turns into a complete shit show.
Who was it who said somebody said somebody when we were talking about the emerging side a few weeks ago was forever emerging.
It is.
And I just I worry if like the power hitting
Yeah, I
camp
swear
is just
down, man.
a forever power hitting camp. Like, they're in camp learning to do it at any moment now. It's going to happen. Asad, I'm going to have to let you go.
We should have just sent them to the Asia Cup.
Oh,
no worries, man.
Before I do though, I've got a quick question because you're in Istanbul, right? So you know your Argentina top you're wearing, is that because I was in Istanbul once and I thought it was hilarious.
No, it's Anderlecht, bro. It's Anderlecht.
Is it Anderlecht? Oh, sorry, but is it an authentic fake?
Yeah.
Because that's what people tell you about the clothes.
No. No. I made sure I got the original one. To be honest, like fun little fact, like I've been supporting this team because I used to live in Belgium. I've been supporting them 11 years, and I've been meaning to get my hands on like a jersey, aside from the one that my dad gave me. So after 7 years, I was able to find it. But yeah, no, it's like they're actually playing right now. So if you see my eyes drifting somewhere else, I'm actually watching the match right now while multitasking and speaking to you guys. They're playing Leuven. Yeah, I mean, like they're playing like shit, man. They're like the football equivalent of Sri Lanka right now. Got a lot of potential, but they just can't get it together, man.
So, I think the football equivalent of Sri Lanka is Uruguay, but we can talk.
I actually said it.
Yeah,
I said it actually in the last video as well. The football equivalent of Sri Lanka is Arsenal. Like get off to a great start, do really well, and then bottle it.
For other reasons, I think it's Uruguay. Anyway, man, I'll let you go. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
If you like football
stuff,
stuff,
have a good evening, guys.
Football channel as well. See you later, bro. See ya. Comment coming in from Dylan. Hear me out. Pathum and KJP has to open left right hand combo in the power play, and even though Kusal Mendes and Pathum have been decent, I feel Kusal is better one down.
Part of me, so I was going to say, part of me agrees because he's one of the few guys who can actually play spin.
Yeah.
Because we get so bogged down, like the spinners come on and it's like, with Asalanka, right? I was like, sometimes I think that,
in the WhatsApp group, I said, Pep Guardiola famous for the false nine, Sri Lanka's famous for the false Kusal. Never will the two of them ever fire at the same time. Only one of them can only have a good game. Lahindu, will come to you shortly. I'll get Kulunu up. Kulunu, how you doing, bro? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
What time is it? Where you're in the same time zone as Dom, so it's like your working day.
Yes.
Nice.
Always the Sri Lanka game is a priority, right? So
yeah, 100%. How are you feeling about the game right now?
Oh, well, I wasn't feeling much about the game even before and during and after, because given that this was like a dead rubber, because I take the result either way with a grain of salt. I mean, it was a great performance, especially from Pathum, because we love to watch him bat, right? And really happy for the guy. But the bottom line is that we haven't performed when it mattered in the Super 4. So that's a bit disappointing. That's my sort of overall feeling.
Yeah. I it's weird, right? Because that performance is going to just change the narrative about this whole tournament, isn't it? Because
maybe not though, because I think Surya Kumar's comments at the sort of the post match where he felt the pressure. He said that it felt like a final, which was like a compliment to our performance, I think.
Yeah.
But I think if you really look at the team in the final, Pakistan actually haven't played a good game, even like a game that we played against India right now, which we pushed them to a super over. I know it's a dead rubber again, but I'm kind of contradicting myself. But I'm saying we pushed India a little bit, right? But that's still in the final because they did the sort of the dirty work that they had to do early in the Super 4, like the scrappy games, whatever sort of imperfect games that you had to get done to be in the finals, right? So I think we can talk about like combinations or whether power hitting is the deficiency, but I feel like it's like strategy tactics, right? Because Kamindo and Charit made 8 out of 16 and we needed 1 run. And we are wondering whether Dasun, whether he should have dived or not. He was probably trying to get the 2 because he didn't know the throw was coming in, right? But if we had gotten a single somewhere in the middle, we are on the other side, right? So that's the disappointing part.
Nick, what's your thoughts on that?
100% agree, man. 8 of 16 costs you the game, not only because you're chewing up dot balls, but you've got a guy at the other end who's hitting everything to the boundary. If you get him on strike for one of those balls, he does something with it. And it also completely kills his momentum because he's standing at the non-strikers end, not facing any bowling. I was baffled by that. But the worst part is I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
It's that like horrible realization that what you think is going to happen is actually unfolding, and that Sri Lanka are going to conspire to lose a game that they just had no right to lose.
Watching this middle order bat is like watching a car crash that you know is going to happen. You're just like you're just wincing and hoping it never gets to it. And the other thing that's fascinating, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Virat Kohli being stranded in that 2014 World Cup final while Yuvraj was eating those balls, and he just didn't get to face enough deliveries in the end, right? Like, and that's something they've got to talk about. I think I don't know how they have the conversation with the batters, but it's got to be like, you either need to get going or get gone. Like that has to be the discussion. It's like, okay, you can take a ball or two when you come in the 14th or 15th over, but either get going or get gone.
Ravichandran Ashwin style, retire yourself if you're not finding the boundary. Kulinu, question for you: how much of I can't remember when's our next? Is it the tour to Pakistan, the Tri Series or whatever?
Yeah, I think so.
For our next outing, how much of this squad is going? And how much is changing?
I am thinking not many changes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To keep the core group of players, just because we are on the road to a World Cup, it's kind of like on the sort of horizon. But again, my opinion is it's not the personnel changes; it's just game management issues. Because I was just listening to the head coach at his post-match sort of presser, right? And he gave an insight into what was the approach when sort of Pathum was going and we were coming towards the back end of the game. He said that the next batters that were going in were asked to take a risk. But in the same breath, he said that he saw the ball turning more, so it became difficult. So I don't know whether then they should have tried to take singles. So that's the whole confusion that I see, where what was the approach in trying to finish the game. I mean, like we could have, you know, if Pathum's flick didn't go to Varun's hand, I mean, like it would have been a sort of carrying the bat to win the game, right? But it's kind of hindsight. We say these things also, but I think I still wonder whether like the next batter that's going in, whether they are thinking of multiple scenarios, because I go back to this thing that Dinesh Karthik mentioned in one of these cricket shows, reminiscing back on that game that Virat Kohli hit that six off Haris Rao, that crazy game that Ashwin sort of left and then sort of left the wide and they won, right? But Dinesh was talking about, okay, if I go in next and if Hardik Pandya is then my partner, what are my options? How am I going to bat with him? If Virat Kohli is there, how am I going to bat with him? What are the shots that I'm going to take? So, I mean, obviously these professional cricketers are thinking of that. I'm not disputing that from the outside. But I don't know, something is missing in the next batter going in is my contention.
Yeah, 100%. It's almost as if the first ball has to be a dot, right? They have to get underneath the ball and head over the ball. It's so frustrating because I think
I know I said it's a lot. I just think when you look at the talent that we've got, I just feel like we're like 90% there. It's like the cake could be baked. We just don't know how we want to ice it. We don't know what we're doing with it. And I think, you know, I keep saying this, we just I just want more strategy, more role definition. If you're playing the Arnage, I think that's absolutely fine. But if he's got a role and he's going to do it, then it's fine, right? But I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what, but no one ever comes out and goes, right, this is how we're going to do it. This is good. And they don't need to come out and do it in a press conference. They can just slyly kind of leak it to some of the journalists in and around the team, and then we can go, oh, look, this is. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at the moment, I think the whole thing's built around players taking the initiative and basically having a day like Pathum had today, right?
Yeah, it's
actually like now I think about it, Lianage would have been better coming in where Charith or Kamindu did, and he probably would have been able to rotate the strike in a way that they didn't, right? What you can't end up doing is picking him and then sending him in the 20th over when you need 12 off 6, because it just makes make that make sense.
Yeah. Is that what did they tell him before the game, right? Like, what did they surely said, okay, you're in the side. And what was the message that we told them? Okay, we need you to come in the middle overs and tick it over. There was an opportunity to come in the middle overs and tick it over. Not taken, right? Like, I think that's what needs to be cleared up. You can tell that with Kusal and Pathum and KJP, they've batted enough together that they have a strategy about how to go about things. Beyond that, with the exception of Dawson, I don't think anyone else has a strategy about how are we going to play this? How am I going to play this with Pathum while he's hot, right? How am I going to play, like, they should be having those conversations daily. They should be interrogating themselves about, okay, we have this guy named Manindu Hasaranga who can just pop a few boundaries. And if he gets out, if he gets out on one ball, fine. We have a bunch of other people who can come in.
Yeah.
Like that, it's just, there's no logic about what's going on. And I think what this reminds me of is how much better they played in the 2022 Asia Cup when they had the little cards up, when they were told exactly what to do based on analytical decisions. And it shows that they're just like, they need that whole hand holding to get them through and say, okay, in this role, this is what needs to happen and this is how we need to do it. And I think they're not getting that to take their performance and take it to the next level.
Cullen, I'm going to have to let you go to bring Lahindu on, but before I do, I'm going to have to ask what your plans are now for Sunday. Now that we're not going to be there and you've got a free Sunday, like,
it's going to be a good game, hopefully. Yeah. So,
yeah. So, you are watching it then? Okay, I thought you might take the time, go to the museum or
hopefully,
something like that. Yeah. Anyway, man, thanks a lot. I'll let you go now, and we'll bring the Hindu on. Hey, bro, how's it going?
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. How are you?
Yeah, man. Disappointed, but yeah. I mean, yeah.
I was going to say, I have a question for Lahindu.
Yes.
You're Sanath, and it's the super over. Who do you send out?
I mean, even if Pathum was in a one leg, I would ask him to go, honestly. he would put something to the boundary for sure. I mean, guys, so my point is, I feel, since last World Cup, we are always going to a game with a position. Opposition is from a disadvantage. I feel we are always making wrong calls in terms of team selections or in terms of toss decisions. So our players have to find wins through these bad calls even before the game starts. I think that's something that we have been seeing over the last 1 year or I don't know, since last 2 years. I think that is the main reason that we are losing the games that we should have won.
What 11 would you have gone with today?
Sorry?
Who would you have been in your starting 11 today?
I mean, honestly, I should have bring more people. I mean, different people in the 15. Because what is Janit Lianage doing in the team? What is Eshan Maling? Why is Eshan Maling is not in this 15? I think they should be playing. For example, Eshan Maling should be in this 11. And again, why Vicky is not playing in this game? I mean, there are a lot of things, and I honestly feel, let's forget the people who are not in the 15, but still I feel uh, over this Asia Cup, we made very difficult, wrong calls in terms of the management, like in terms of team selection, team combination, even. I mean, toss, it didn't come to us. Last two games, I think we didn't
Yeah.
win the toss. So, okay. But I think, I mean, it's good that we, in a way, now we don't have to complain, right? Because we didn't win the toss.
Yeah, I know, but we've got to be more than that, though, right? You look at what, but basically, I think it was January the 1st, the last time that we went into bat 1st and actually put a score together, and you're like, that's for where we think we should be. That is not good enough, is it? We can't just be a team that, right, we might win if we chase. Like, that's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
I feel like we are playing a little bit like cricket. I mean, all cricket.
Yeah.
I mean, we are trying to like. I mean, I feel like that, but obviously, I don't know what the message is going to the players. But I feel like we are playing the cricket that Sanath used to play. That mentality. And maybe it's time to hire a strategist to to our team. I mean, with the help from Sanath as the influencer or the leader of the core group. I mean, I think that will do well. Hopefully, in the next series, we should give the chances to the young guys like Ishan, Pawan, Vicky, this kind of players, and even this Goose Pulles, and there's other guy who in the squad, right? The young guy who's opener.
Vishan Halambage.
Game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's time to like look at some of these guys, but I think that won't happen because the management is keep saying that we should stick with the core group
Yeah.
because they have more years in them to play. Yeah, I mean, other thing is I feel Shan does not have that killer instinct anymore. I don't know. I mean,
Who, Dustin
even
Shanaka?
yes, I mean, even though he played really well in Bangladesh game,
Yeah.
actually I went to watch the game. I mean, he did not close in the last two overs where we won lost the match, right? And also in this game, I mean, he was playing in last, including the super over, last 3 overs, and I think he only got one edge, and it went to the boundary or two boundaries only in last 3 overs basically. Uh, I mean, this is something that always our Sri Lankan players they had like the killer instinct in these key situations. I mean, in our golden age, and I feel we are missing that one as well a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to put the blame on him because obviously our middle order didn't do well as well.
Yeah. So
But I
for
feel,
me, I'll tell you what I feel about Dustin Shanaka, right? I feel so frequently in his career, he's been asked to step up and do things that are just kind of slightly outside of what he's actually in there in the team for, right? He's kind of in the team probably to bowl 1, maybe 2 overs, and probably to kind of score in the last couple of overs. But more often than not, he ends up batting in like comes in at like over 10 or 11. And then he so many times he ends up having to bowl out, or he ends up bowling in the last over. I have absolutely no idea why a country which has currently got Isha Malinga, Pathurana, New and Dishmanta Chamira is ever asking, and there's about 5 other people I can think of. Dilshan Madishankar is ever asking, is ever in a situation where Dustin Shanaka has to bowl the final over for T20 game. But that has happened so much, man. I actually feel really bad for him.
Honestly, I feel at this point of time, our talent pool in Sri Lanka cricket in our country is better than any time of period in the history. Is crazy, you know. And not being able to get the best from these guys is, it's a crime basically.
Yeah.
I really feel that. I mean, just imagine how many bowlers we have who can bowl over 140. I mean, how many leg spinners we have? We have Vanidu, Dushan, VS Khan. There's a new guy coming in, the Tamil boy coming in the 90s. I mean, Vandase we have. I mean, I don't know if we had this kind of resources ever in. Within our reach, and still we cannot like put our best 11 to a game, and I don't know, man. I mean, it's really disappointing. I mean, because it's not about honestly. I don't believe it's the players. I honestly believe it is the management and how we manage these players.
I fully agree. I think that given the talent Sri Lanka has at its disposal, and not just that, the IPL experience that's going around this squad, right? They should be miles ahead of both Bangladesh and Pakistan. Like, it's really disappointing that Sri Lanka didn't make the final, and I feel like they haven't backed their players. I don't know, I think Pathum is a prime example, right? Who's never been given a run of games for Sri Lanka, who's never been given confidence from the management, and who seems to be growing more and more peripheral by the day. I feel like, Kamindu was doing kind of well batting at 3 last year, and then he went to the IPL, obviously doesn't bat 3 there because they've got Abhishek Head and Ishan, and then suddenly Sri Lanka move him. Now he's a finisher. He's not convincing. I don't know. I feel like there's something of a disconnect there.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about Bangladesh, I think Bangladesh is a team that make really good calls before a game. Their team combination, how they rotate their players, they work as a team. Even though they are obviously punching above their weight. They are playing good cricket, even though they had bad games. I think they're mainly because they are making very good decisions before a game. And that's and we are doing the opposite, and they easily beat us because cricket is not cricket is, I think, it's mostly tactical game now. That is the main thing to disappoint, to be honest with you.
Lehindu, where you join us from? Is it the UAE?
Yes.
Whereabouts are you? Did you go to the game today? You didn't go to the game today?
Today, no, but I went to the Bangladesh game in Super Force,
cool.
where we lost in the last ball.
Oh no! Now you're never allowed to go to another game ever again.
Actually, I was planning to go today, but got busy at work. Yeah. But anyway, guys, it's okay. We reached finals last 2 times, so let them have this one. But I think honestly, our management need to figure this out. They need to do something. Otherwise, the World Cup, we will be having the same conversation again in the World Cup.
That's what worries me, is that we end up having the same conversation over and over again, right? We basically had the same conversation today that we had a few days ago and a few days before that, except the difference is today is one of our top 3 players made a century, right? And he got us quite close to the line, didn't he?
I spoke to a Lankan friend this morning, and he said, how good is it that this has happened now instead of in 6 months' time? And now at least there'll be some pressure on them to do something and address these issues. So touch wood, but we'll see.
Because traditionally in Sri Lanka that works.
That is what always happens, isn't it?
Yeah. And as a final note, guys, I don't see anyone else talking about this management mishaps, other than you guys. Even we were conversation with Russell Arnold. He was backing these decisions that is taken with the core group. I don't know why no one is talking about this. That makes me really scared. No one is raising any eyebrows. Everyone is going with the flow, thinking, okay, we won a match here and there, but the problem remains same. The root cause remains same.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I'm interested to see what the reaction is after this game, right? Because I'm absolutely excited after this game, but I think the takeaway shouldn't be, look, we went toe to toe with India. The takeaway should be, we should have beaten India and we lost.
Exactly.
What happened? There was something wrong right that final moment. That's what happened. How do we rectify that?
I think not just India, how we played in this Asia Cup, right, in the Super Force. Some games we were playing. We were playing more batsmen that we are not using. We are underutilizing our resources there, and we don't have resources in bowling unit to defend or to do anything. So clearly, there's a. I don't want to keep this simple. We have to make the huge noise about this as I can do. There's a huge issue with the management in team selection, in toss. The people who are making decisions in those areas, they are not making right calls. So our players has our players has to find wins through these issues. That's the thing that I want to raise here.
What do you think of the captain? As in, what do you think of Charath's
I
position?
mean,
He's had a bad tournament.
see,
And
Charit, the batsman, I have the confidence because he's doing too well in ODs, and it's just matter. I feel it's just a matter of time that he's finding his feet in T20s. As a captain in the field, I mean, this guy is helpless, right? I mean, if he doesn't have the resources, if they doesn't have the bowlers that he can trust, like proper bowlers to rotate, I mean, what can he do? I think he's helpless, and I feel the best he did after we lost to Bangladesh, the last match. It was Bangladesh, right? Yes, or Pakistan. I felt like he was crying for help. That he's saying that he told that he is helpless because he doesn't have the proper people to bowl. Yeah, I mean, as a batsman, I still back him because he has done too well in ODs, and I think it's just a matter of time that he will find his feet in T20s as well. But as a captain, I mean, I think he's helpless because he doesn't have the resources at his hand to move around.
I'd love to know who Charath would pick in his 11, like how he would structure the team if there was no one around. I also think it's going back to the management thing, and we've talked about this on this show before, but Sanath Jayasuriya he's the closest thing Sri Lanka have to kind of national treasure, isn't he? So it's like who can kind of stand up to him, who can talk to him, who can have the conversation with him. I actually think the way it changes is you've got to keep him involved in it, and because I do think he has brought something to the side. I think we kind of show in some areas. I think the team's fitter. I think we show better levels of kind of professionalism. I think it's just that final game management that we're missing. So, but I don't know who's gonna. It's somebody's job somewhere to figure out how Sri Lanka win cricket games. And the buck stops with Sanath, so that's the point, isn't it? That's where we are now. Everything seems to be in place if you look at it to have a good run at this. Lahindu, we'll let you go, but thank you for joining us, and please come back soon.
Yes, thank you guys.
Lahindu, nice one, man.
Thank you.
I should also have told Lahindu if he's back there just to hang about for a few minutes while we upload your recording. If anyone else was to join, I'll put the link back in. But Nick, it's now time we turn our attention to the kind of the Women's World Cup. That starts, I think, in like 4 days' time, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's coming around the corner fast, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm like excited about it. I'm a bit sad that we haven't seen much of the team beforehand. Their first game is on Tuesday against India, who are one of the favourites in India. I think that's going to be quite a tough match, right?
Yeah, it's a little concerning that they seem fairly undercooked. Was it the last time Sri Lanka played that they were giving India a good challenge? How many months ago was that? That's the last time I can remember seeing.
That was in May. The last time we saw them properly. I know they've been playing domestic games and warm-up matches and stuff like that, but it just feels to me like such a dropped opportunity but then I was reading somewhere, I think a few other teams have struggled for various different reasons to get these games, to get proper games going. I don't know what's going on. I think we need to wrap this up shortly, Nick, because we've been doing this for almost an hour. Yeah, you haven't. I ate my dinner very quickly during the Super Over. So a few things for me before we leave. Firstly, if you've got this far and you haven't hit subscribe, then I don't think there's anything more I can do. Remember, we run a football channel called Football Smash as well. And also, I will be in Colombo next weekend. So come down to that Sri Lanka Australia game. Let's meet up. We'll eat mutton rolls together, have a beer together. I might even overindulge in those orange Fantas. That are probably the reason why there's a diabetes crisis on the island. And yeah, let's have a good time at that game. Come and if you think about coming down, if you're in Colombo, drop me a message. I'd love to meet up. I'd love to hang out with you guys. And we will be back definitely on Monday. We've got a big preview off everything going for the that's happening for the Women's World Cup. And of course, we'll be with you after every game of the Women's World Cup as well. Though I'm unclear how I'm going to do that drunk and high on Fanta in Colombo, but I'll figure it out somehow. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We've been the Murali End.
It's the Murali End, you're in the place to be. Analyze the players and the team. Keep a great company in the stream.
It's a Murali End. Welcome to the show. We're here when you're high. We're here when you're low. Some days you're happy, some days you wanna when happy it's we, when mad it's them. It's the same place, Murali End. Sri Lanka cricket we gon' represent. So tell a friend.